Hello, let's start. Let me share my screen. Okay, let's make it bigger. And here we go. Um, so my name is Fernanda Coughlin. I'm here to complete the milestone 1 code review for CS 499, okay? So the capstone project I chose for this final project for this course is the artifact FLC. That is my name, Fernanda Luciane Coughlin. No creativity at all. Weight Tracker App that was originally developed in the course CS 360, where I learned about mobile architecture and programming, okay? So this will be a walkthrough the app to explain my plans to enhance this mobile application in the 3 required key areas: software design and engineering, algorithm and data structures, and databases, okay? So here is an overview of the original artifact that I had. So you can see it is a very basic, like a Java app. We had the main activity where you had the face of the app. This, by the way, is my lovely dog, my very trustful companion, Mona. So here you have in this screen a login before then that is not that you are not able to log in before you create an account, and then after you create an account that is this screen, create account activity, where you place your name and password as minimum information, and then once your account is created you just log in uh, to start using. And then we have also a dashboard here where you can view your profile, uh, where you can handle fill out the wave tracker and notifications. The notifications, like it is this screen, notification activity, only to say if you allow the app to send SMS notifications messages or not. Okay, so it is like a more or less how the original app, it is the view of the original app. Okay. Um, okay, so and also in the profile activity, that was the button we have, this category, this Java category. So you have some basic information you can fill out, like name, password, email, and phone, that you can update and return to dashboard. And finally, the waste tracker activity, that it is where actually you add the date, your waste, and you have a list here, and you can set your goal, okay? So as you can see, it is a Java-based Android app to track users' weight history. The weight entries are in-memory data. The minimal architecture, it's like a very simple basic activity to activity structure, and like hard to scale or maintain. Okay, so now going through the enhancement areas overview. So I'm going to these 3 categories. I will go a little more deeper. So we will start here by software design and engineering, where I will show the enhancement to use the MVVM for modularity and testability. Then I will walk through algorithms and data structures, where I will implement a more meaningful trend detection algorithm. Um, And finally, I will talk about the database management, where the enhancement will be to really integrate a room for data persistent and life-safe access. Okay, so let's start here in this first enhancement area. Okay, so this is the original code, the original architecture. And what they structure, by all you can see here, you will see that is a monolithic activity classes. We have mixed user interactions, handling logic, and data inside the activity. Okay, so basically, it is the original scenario that we have inside the code. Okay, so when we look to this coding, to what we have here in waste tracker activity, what are the issues we see at this? So it is like very difficult to test or scale. This is not a modular, not maintainable. It is not MVVM. And what is MVVM? So I just place a note here. MVVM is model view model. That is a software architectural pattern used especially in Android development to organize the code in a clean, scalable, and testable way. Okay, so the logic here, I hope you can see a little the code here, is very tightly coupled to views, and it is definitely violate the separation of concerns. Okay, so next one. Oops. Okay, so what is the plan? The plan is to have the mode, view mode enhancement. Let me push my face a little here. Yes. So the plan, it is to add a view mode, a view model and repository to use live data to decouple the user interaction logic, to refactor the activity for life cycle awareness, uh, and to follow Android MVVM standard. Okay, so basically, in a natural language, my pseudo code would be under a natural language would be more or less this is the actions. Not in a technical language, now in a natural language, as you requested, Professor. So the plan would be define a wave view model that holds a list of wave entries. The view model using a repository to fetch or modify data. Activity that observes changes in Waze's data via live data. And when the user adds new Waze, it calls view models method. View model sends update to the repository which saves it in a room database. Okay, so basically, this is the enhancement that I'm planning to do in the software design and engineering side. Okay. So the skills and outcomes of this enhancement. So after we change the code and we apply the all the best practice and MVVM, all that I'm proposing to do, I expect the outcome is we expect to have a separation of concerns that is necessary, a life cycle aware components, and a live data and repository usage. Okay. And here I just placed some skills that are from the course that the skills they would utilize, like the outcome number 4. And outcome number 5. I will not read this, but they are connected to these outcomes, like to use the technique, skills, tools, best practice of computing practice, and the security mindset. Okay, so now let us go to another enhancement area overview. So we went through the software design and engineering, and now saying that we will use the model view model for modularity and testability. And now we are going to deep dive a little in the algorithm and data structure. Okay. So, and the idea is to implement a meaningful trend detection algorithm. So let us go now to this enhancement area. Okay, so the code, this is what I have in the waste tracker. This is the original logic, okay? So in the original logic, if you go through the code, you will see that the logic only display weight entries, that's it, in a static table list. Just date, weight, very simple. It has like a minimal structure or feedback, okay? So that is what we have a scenario of the original logic. The issue, that is, these are the issues we can see with the original code bring, you know. Here is the screenshot where you can see, like, you have a date, and your weights, you add your weights, and here you have a very simple table, like date weights, and that's it. So there is nothing else here. So the issue is that, like, there is no grouping or summary logic, no patterns or trends, tracking or analysis, like, oh, I'm gaining weight, I'm losing weight, how many weights like do I gain it in this period of time, or a graphic. It is very like just a table, doesn't interact much, doesn't help me much, you know. So it is like there is no sorting, no filtering or aggregation, not algorithmically insightful. It's not very useful to the final user, you know. And so we are going to upgrade. I will upgrade to make it much more interested and more insightful and more useful for the final user. Okay. Okay, so what will be the enhancements for the algorithm and data structure? So here I have the plan summary, what I plan to do it, you know. So I intended to use a list of entries sorted by date, group the weight by calendar week using their dates, the user dates. For each group, calculate the average, compare average weight from early and recent weeks. So make an analysis, makes a comparison to be more useful for the user, and display whether the user gained or lost weight overall, because only show the data is not enough. You like be insightful, like, okay, I'm gaining, be alert, like, or maybe send some alerts, you know. So the pseudocode under a natural language, basically we would have to do something like this. For each entry, we determine its calendar week, the group entries into weeks using a dictionary or map. I didn't decide yet. I will. For each group, I will calculate weekly average weight, compare the average of the first weeks to the most recent week. And if the final average is low, is lower, uh, mark it as weight loss, and display a message like, oh, you lost X pounds over X weeks, or maybe you gained X pounds over X weeks. But it's more connected to the user so they can do some action or realize, oops, wait, my weight, I'm losing weight, I'm gaining weight, what is happening? I needed to close my mouth, I needed to eat better, depending of your goal. Not everybody goes is to lose weight. Sometimes it's to gain weight. Okay, so basically that's the enhancement, the plan, and the pseudocode in a natural language on of what I plan to do. Uh, so for this area, the skills and outcomes, what I intended to to provide after all of this. So it is to list and map structure usage, time series that data handling, just a moment, let me put here, data handling using custom algorithm logic, trend detection with conditional logic and data interpretation. So we're going to do like in place of only placing listed like date and pounds, we're going to evaluate, put some logic, some more conditional logic, some more things, insightful things to the final user. Okay, and the skills of the course again is like the course outcome number 3 to evaluate computing solutions, to the algorithm principles, and outcomes number 4. I will not read everything because like it is just like a reference, So using like techniques, innovative techniques, skills, and tools to use in the algorithm, okay? So I still like this is basically what I want to do. I intended to do much more, maybe, but it is still like a draft. So I intended to maybe a graphic. I will improve a lot the analysis, evaluation, and what we can do with the algorithm. Okay, that's the plan. Okay, so. Oops. Now, so we went through software design and engineering that I'm going to use the model view model for modularity and testability. We went through algorithms and data structures where I will implement a meaningful, a much more meaningful trend detection algorithm to make it more insightful for the user. And now we are going to talk a little about data management. So the idea here in the data management is to integrate a room for data persistence and life cycle safe access. Okay, so let us see how what we have and what we plan to improve and how. Okay. Okay, so again, if you see the code, the original code, there they stored, let me move my screen again. Okay. So that is the basically what we had in the original start, or better, what I didn't have. Because as you see, the original app is stored data is in memory. There's no storage, so only in memory. So data is lost when the app is closed. It's like a temp, unuseful, right? And because you cannot hold while you're going to, right? And the waste data is in RAM only. So that's what I said. Like it is only like there is no memory there. You just the place where you close the app, all is gone. Okay, so it was very simple. There was no storage in the original web. Uh, so the storage issues, there was no storage that, so there is not so much to show here, but the issues were like no room or database is usage, none at all, only memory, no validation or structure, and the app not usable long term because once you close you lose everything, right? That's not right. And so basically the app done in the old CS 360 was served for an educational purpose, but for mobile and architecture. So we were learning how to do it. So it was very precious, this class, but it is impractical for real users who expect their data to stay safe. So we needed to improve a much more for like a mobile application like this to be practical for real users and to be real useful. Okay. Okay, so the enhancement like that I'm looking forward here is to implement the room database enhancement. So here we have the plan summary that my plan is to define entity, DAO, data access object, database class, use live data and room queries, move data logic into a repository, ensure life cycle and thread safety. So basically we'll have app, view model, repository, room database, entity, DAO, okay? And more like in a natural language, my pseudo code would be kind of like define a wave entry class as database role. DAO provides query methods like get all weights for user by username. The repository would wrap the DAO for use in view model. View model retrieves live data from repository, and activity observes the data and updates automatically. So that's the plan, and that's what I intended to do. Okay, so I will basically implement a database that was not available prior. Okay. Okay, so let us go. Okay, skills and outcomes. So after I enhance the code to add the room database, after this enhancement, what are the outcomes I intended to have is the use of ORM, object relational mapping, the live data that I didn't have, and database integration that I didn't have also, the real persistence logic, and the use of the DAO, data access object, to safely access the database, okay? And here the skills from the course I will utilize, like here I have as reference, I will not read it all, but I will utilize the course outcomes like number 3, 4, and 5. That is work with solutions, like innovative techniques, skills, and also like security mindset and all possible in this enhancement, okay? So basically, that's what I have. I went through the 3 areas, 3 um, enhancements, and so the original scenario, what I plan to do, what are the expected outcomes, and what are the skills and this that I will achieve with this outcome. So basically that is what I went through, and I hope it is enough for the milestone one. I know there is a lot of improvement and things. We are still in week number 2. So I have some ideas, and I'm pretty sure the project will be very nice, and it will grow according to until these 8 weeks ahead. And I will have a lot of fun also to do this project, and because I like computer science, so it will be challenging and very uh, very nice to do it. Okay, so thank you and have a great day. Thank you for everything, all the tips, all the references, the guidelines, the everything to support us to succeed in the course. Okay? Thank you. Bye.